It was a crisp autumn morning in Portland, Oregon, when Emily Thompson first noticed the quiet intensity in Ryan Carter's eyes. She had always admired Ryan from afar. In that way, people sometimes admire someone they barely know but feel inexplicably drawn to. He was the kind of man whose presence could fill a room without a word, and Emily, a young graphic designer who had just moved back to her hometown, felt both nervous and excited whenever she ran into him at the coffee shop where she worked part-time. Ryan was polite and kind, always tipping well and asking Emily about her day. Over time, small gestures, a shared laugh over a spilled latte, lingering conversations about favorite books and films, created a quiet rhythm between them. Emily knew she was developing feelings for him, feelings she tried to keep in check because her heart had been bruised before. One evening, the coffee shop hosted a small local art showcase, and Emily was tasked with setting up a display of her own designs. Ryan showed up unexpectedly, carrying a bouquet of wildflowers. "For you," he said simply, his voice soft yet confident. Emily's heart skipped a beat as she accepted the flowers, and for the first time, she felt a connection that went beyond casual familiarity. Their interactions became more frequent. Walks through the falling leaves of Pioneer Courthouse Square, long conversations over hot chocolate, and quiet moments in bookstores where they shared whispered jokes. It all felt like a story unfolding gently, yet Emily couldn't shake a lingering worry. She knew Ryan had a tendency to become deeply involved in the lives of those he cared about, sometimes pushing boundaries without realizing it. One chilly evening, as snow began to dust the streets of Portland, Emily invited Ryan over to her apartment to celebrate her recent freelance success. They laughed and shared stories, their warmth against the cold night outside growing with every passing moment. But when Ryan, swept up in his emotions, lingered too closely and ignored her subtle cues, Emily felt the first twinge of panic. "Ryan," she whispered, her voice steady but firm, "I need some space. Please." Ryan paused, his smile faltering. I just want to be close to you," he said. Emily nodded, trying to convey her seriousness without hurting him. She cared for Ryan deeply, but boundaries were important, and she needed him to understand that love was not about possession or ignoring someone's comfort. The next weeks tested both of them. Ryan struggled to respect the line Emily had drawn, yet Emily found herself drawn to his persistence, his unwavering dedication, and the gentle way he showed he cared in other, respectful ways. Slowly, Ryan learned that love wasn't about pressing forward no matter what. It was about listening, adjusting, and growing together. Over time, their bond deepened into a quiet romance built on trust and understanding. They spent weekends exploring the coast, sharing stories of childhood in Portland, and dreaming about the future. Ryan's initial intensity transformed into a profound respect and affection, and Emily realized that the man who had once overstepped boundaries had become someone who cherished her independence as much as their connection. The turning point came one rainy afternoon at the Japanese garden. Emily had shared a story of past hurt, and Ryan listened, holding her hand lightly, eyes focused entirely on her. "I understand," he said softly. "I want to be someone who supports you, not overwhelms you." Emily smiled, the weight of past fears lifting slightly. Here, in the misty rain among falling maple leaves, she realized that love could be both passionate and patient, both intense and gentle. As months passed, their story continued to unfold, a tapestry of shared experiences, quiet moments, and laughter. Emily never regretted setting boundaries or speaking up. It was precisely those moments of honesty that allowed a true, respectful romance to blossom. They learned that love was never about forcing closeness, but about nurturing it with care, attention, and understanding. By the time winter melted into spring, Emily and Ryan were inseparable, walking hand in hand through the cherry blossoms of Tom McCall Waterfront Park. They had faced challenges, navigated emotions, and grown together, and now their relationship was a celebration of trust, respect, and a love that had survived the test of patience and boundaries. In the end, Emily realized that the heartbreak she had feared was not from Ryan's intensity, but from what could have happened if she hadn't spoken up. By asking him to stop, by asserting herself, she had opened the door to a love that was enduring, tender, and wholly reciprocated, a love that didn't just survive but thrived.